Okay. All right. Welcome back to Whiskey Buds. I'm Kurt.
And I'm Billy.
And we're feeding whiskey to Billy. This is Billy's exploration of 100 whiskeys.
I think you'd practice that ahead of time, but...
Dude, I don't practice anything about this show ahead of time. You're lucky I know what I'm doing. Okay. This week we have something very special. It's not Lord Calvert. So I don't care.
Or is it? No,
You get kicked out. Oh, man.
Show's over.
Yeah, I'm done. Okay. Last week I joked about it being his first Buffalo Trace product. But he's actually out of Buffalo Trace.
Looks like we got to this episode just in time.
Yeah. No, actually, I got a few more bottles of this stuff.
Of course you do.
Yeah. Actually, this stuff is hard to get a hold of. So the fact that I have a few more bottles is actually pretty lucky that you just happen to stumble upon them in the liquor store and pick them up. For the record, I haven't bought any of my whiskey secondhand. So it's all at retail prices, and that's the way I like it.
So if you're stumbling around a liquor store, do you get kicked out?
No. Especially if you pick up a more expensive bottle.
They don't bat an eye, huh?
No. You're just walking through there. You just got to learn how to, to deal with them. Or, to deal with them. Yeah, you just duck around the corners. You're really good. They can't ever find
anything. This is pretty popular... that gets bought out most of the time. It's in stock.
Yes, and it's also allocated or whatever, so it's hard to get a hold of.
Allocated?
Yeah, like they only sell and send so much to different places.
Oh.
So, it's hard to have access to it. Man.
Whew. We're getting low.
We are. All right. So this is Antique Weller Antique 107. This is a wheated bourbon, so this harkens back to our days of Maker's Mark, where they use wheat in their bourbon. I have to assume this is a different wheat, but...
I really like Maker's Mark, but then I tried it and I didn't like it.
Yes. That's
to clarify.
That's a pretty accurate description of it.
To clarify, I made some whiskey habanero jerky with Maker's Mark.
Okay.
And it was amazing. Had
Did it have more? Oh, I guess I can't really ask that question.
Well, it didn't have the alcohol burn, but it had that
bourbon flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking of other jerkies that didn't have any real whiskey flavor, even though they claim to be whiskey jerky.
like the one we had.
Yeah.
No, it was a lot more than that, because I made it and I put a lot because I was I wanted it to be good, and I knew that alcohol evaporates.
So it's not going to be alcoholic, but
right. I'm well, this is just going to go away. So glug glug glug.
Yeah.
It turned out pretty well, and I really like that. So I was Maker's Mark is good stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
And I've heard people talk about it, say it's really good, but then we tried it, and I was not a big fan.
No, you were not.
So this is, you're saying close. So they're both wheated.
Yeah, they're both bourbons, and they're both wheated bourbons instead of rye. So last week we had that, 2 weeks ago we had that rye with port casks.
107 proof.
Yes. So it's a measly 107 proof.
It's going to be a little rougher.
I don't think so.
It smells good, but it does smell strong.
Yeah, you can definitely, it's got more scent to it, more...
Ethanol.
I'm not catching too much burn, but I am catching more, it just seems more potent. But you do sense that kind of that wheat, not wheat flavor, but I'm trying to think back to that Maker's Mark, how it doesn't quite have the same smell as a rye bourbon, like Four Roses or 1920.
Four Roses and 1920 are not close.
Yeah, they're both good.
Mm-hmm.
Drink them both. I don't care what he says.
All right, so I smell caramel in this, just a little bit, because that Lord Calvert was crazy strong caramel smell.
And moldy caramel.
Yeah. and sugar.
Yes.
So this has I can smell a hint of that in here. Not like
no, but
not
like a hint of caramel. Yes.
Not the bad caramel, but
yeah. Now that you say that, I'm picking something like that up, and I'm actually getting a little bit of that ethanol burn now.
That's kind of all I'm getting is a little hint of the sweet caramel and ethanol and.
Yeah. All right. Try it.
It's got alcohol in it.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
It's burning all the way down. Tummy's warm.
Yes. It is warm now.
It's going all the way down.
Yeah, like, you know where it's sitting in your belly. Like, leaves kind of a sweet aftertaste. What do you think?
It's not overly complex.
No, this is not. Can you believe that this is like so hard to come by?
It's not that easy to drink.
I don't find it. I mean, I know the bottle's almost gone, but you do realize that so many people have so many difficult time finding it and other things that you do share. You do sample it and sip it, but.
So once you work past the ethanol, it's good.
Yeah, it doesn't burn the second time like it did the first.
It's got a
like that
not overwhelming flavor, but it's a good flavor.
Pleasant.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy. Like there's no crazy tastes or things going on like brimstone or fire and cane or
like
like
some
it's
of the
just
others will have,
it says, well, it says right on it, huh? It's like Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. That's what it.
Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, yeah, with
bourbon
wheat.
whiskey with business about it. Get your boss up.
Did I mention it was strong? Oh man! All right.
No, I like that word straight because that is what I'm feeling when I drink. It's like straight, like you're like a really. This is what I think of like a base whiskey.
Okay.
Right, like Fire and Cane would be a base whiskey with the smoky on it and like all the other.
Yeah, all the extra little stuff. So it's.
This is just like your straight. I don't know. Like it's just like it seems like a good base, like a.
Do you know what that straight means?
No idea.
It means that it has been aged at least 2 years. That's it.
Well, that's
straight
not,
bourbon says at least 2 years in a barrel.
Lord Calvert's 36 months. So.
So they couldn't put straight, and actually it's not even a bourbon. So, but anytime you see on a whiskey or on a bourbon, on a bourbon, and you see straight bourbon, that's 2 years old or more.
I don't know. It just seems like simple and good. Like they didn't do anything too crazy bad or too crazy good. Like it's just
nice and like right down the middle.
It's your vanilla ice cream of whiskey.
But I like vanilla ice cream better now like this. Like this is not bad, but like I would drink so many other whiskeys over this.
Well, the alcohol content seems kind of high for the flavors to me.
Yeah, like the ethanol kind of
overpowering. It's like just gets in the way of enjoying it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because like some of the other ones just that have higher alcohol contents, like they're masked by the stronger flavors.
Yeah. Yeah, like
So
I think that's a good way to describe this. Is that the flavors are good flavors, but they're not quite able to keep up with the ethanol in here, where it burns a little bit more than I would like versus other whiskeys I've seen that have bolder flavors, and using those bolder flavors are able to cover up almost any hint of the alcohol that's actually in them. Something like that?
Yeah, because like I mean, once the I mean, when you take a drink, the alcohol is the first thing. Like
Yeah.
it's there, very present. And then as soon as it kind of fades, then you have that nice aftertaste so you can actually taste it.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of this one?
It's
Not
fine.
bad.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
I like that. Yeah, I have to agree with that. I know it is sought after by so many people, but I really don't understand the huge hype behind it. Like, I understand buying a bottle, and I understand like drinking one when you have one on hand, like enjoying it. But I don't understand why it is so hard to get. Why everybody is after it so bad. It's got to be just because it's so hard to get, it becomes so hard to get. Like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Right? Like, it's only hard to get because it's hard to get.
Yeah.
You know, not because it's so good of a whiskey that you can never, like, can't keep up with demand. But that it's good enough that demand is there, and then it becomes rare, and the rarity causes more rarity.
So do you know if people drink this just like this, or do they like it with ice, or?
Well, I think they like it always, but to the best of my knowledge, from what I've seen people like, they like to add it maybe just like this, or maybe with a cube of ice. I don't know.
All right.
Cool. Yeah.
That's that.
I think I got to agree with the assessment. It's a good whiskey, but not worth the hype. All right.
Yeah, it just got too much alcohol in it. I think if they just lowered the alcohol down a little bit so you could taste, or if you're just numb to the alcohol,
maybe,
and then it'd be all right. But
yeah,
like, it's got good flavor. It's got a good smell.
Yeah, it does. It does burn just a little bit more than I would expect. All right. Well, till next week.
Finished.
Cheers, everybody.